يا ديد. All right, guys, we are back. We're back. All right, cool. All right. You guys can hear me okay? And see my screen okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Right.
All right.
All right.
All right. One more curtain to unveil. Let's see if we can locate this thing here. All right. All right, people. And the drum roll. There we go. The final um assignment. Let me refresh this. There we go. Right. Assignment 4. Okay, this time around, this says you may select any one of the 3D models above. So you guys have already selected a model from your Squid Games project. Um Select a 3D visualization of your choice to generate an animation using the cinematic camera movements below, right? So, um, this is the same thing that we did with the physical camera, but we're now going to do it with the virtual camera, right? And everything else is pretty much the same, right? Of course, now you don't have to worry about whether or not you have an iPhone or whatever right? Speaking of that, I do want to take a quick break to show you how you can stabilize your footage for those of you that need to stabilize your footage, right? You can do it with either Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. For those of you that don't have Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve is free to download, right? DaVinci Resolve is kind of like Linux. Yeah. Anybody here familiar with Linux? Anybody? I mean, even if you don't use it, you know what it is?
Yes, sir.
Right. So DaVinci Resolve is kind of like the Linux, but for video editing, right? So you have the heavy hitters out there like Adobe, Premiere Pro, After Effects, and for Apple you have Final Cut Pro, but free open source. Well, not really free, but you can always buy like a pro version. But DaVinci Resolve is completely free for you to download and use, right? And it has all the high-tech tools that your typical video editing program would have, right? So I'm gonna try to find I think I can find some footage somewhere, right? Um, um, Here we go. I found some. All right. Yeah, so this is some footage. You guys can see that. This is some footage that I took with my phone. Here's another one. It's like a playground area. Hold on. Do I have my second screen? One sec. Okay, I don't have my second. Anyway, but you guys can see the screen okay? Are you seeing it okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Right. Right. So this footage kind of represents the type of footage that you would collect. These are, okay, let me see. This is a push in. All right. And this was with a regular phone. This was with like what did I have doing this now? One of those Galaxy phones, right? This is a rise up. Yeah, that's a rise up. This is like a pullback. This is like a push in. And this is with trying to ninja walk. Does this look like I'm trying to ninja walk, by the way? Anybody?
Look like you're trying to what, sir?
No, sir.
Anybody remember we spoke about the ninja walk?
Yes, sir. That doesn't look ninja walkish.
Of course it look like
Promise you.
ninja walk.
It
No,
would be a
that is
lot
creepy.
worse. It would be a lot worse if I was walking normally, right? But this is what some of you would be looking on. Like when you look back on the footage that you guys collected, they would look like this, and you would say, "But I swear I walked very softly. It's supposed to be much smoother." All right, so this is like a bunch of them. This is a reveal. So as you can see, they're all kind of, what's the word? Wobbly.
Shaky.
Shaky indeed. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna, oh man, I'm gonna try and do this for this class. Remember, the main reason is, as I said, we have a holiday coming up, so usually we would have 2 classes before you would submit this thing, but we just have to try and squeeze everything in, right? So usually there's a class on post-production editing, and we dive a little deeper. But what I'm going to do is just go on the surface just to show you how to stabilize the footage, and then we'll do all the other stuff that we normally do whenever we have our next class, right? All right, so I'm going to use Premiere Pro. It doesn't matter which version of Premiere Pro you have, whether it's CS something or 2024 or whatever. This is a feature that has always been in Premiere, right? It's also in After Effects. So I figure most people here probably use Premiere or After Effects, but you have to use what I would call one of those professional suites. So like if you use Movie Maker or what does Windows come with again? Windows come with this thing called Clip Champ. Anybody ever notice that in their Windows?
Yes, sir.
Right. So most of those quick.
Filmora, okay.
Say again?
Does Filmora have the feature?
Filmora. I haven't used that in a while. I don't think so. Maybe. So
if
you'd have to
Filmora
look.
does what? I use Filmora to do mine. If Filmora does what?
Have the stabilization.
Yes.
It does?
I don't remember. Hold on.
Well, that means you never use it. Okay, you never use it to do the stabilization. So
I use two softwares, but I don't remember if I did the stabilization in Filmora.
oh, okay. We used to use Filmora back in the past, but since DaVinci Resolve is like, cream of the crop and it's free, that had become more like official program to use, right? Oh man, but I use Premiere Pro as my regular program, so usually I would do like a little warm up to remind myself how to use it. DaVinci, so forgive me if I'm a little rusty. Anyway, let's do this with Premiere first. Hold on, is there anybody here that uses Premiere before I go into this? Anybody?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. But I don't have
Okay.
it installed currently.
All right, cool. All right, so let me do that first because that one I definitely know how to do. All right, so I'm just going to create a test project and I'm going to put it on my desktop. I'm just going to save it in schoolwork and call this test. Create. All right, here we go. Let me reset my window arrangement because it might look weird. Reset. Reset to save layout. Every year they change this thing. Yeah, good. So this is what it should look like when you open Premiere, right? We're not going to go into how to use the program just yet, so forgive me. We'll do that when we have some time. We're just going to jump right into the stabilization. So your timeline is down here and you would want to put your footage down here. I'm going to grab one of my videos here. I think I will grab, let me try a push in. No, which one was that again? Like a tilt up. This is a reveal. Okay, that looks kind of nice and it's kind of shaky. So let me grab that. There we go. So if I play this on my timeline, that's what I'm seeing. All right, so to do the stabilization, it is a effect that you add, right? So when you're in Premiere, oh Lord, you want to look for effects, which is here. Let me get my pointer. Right. Come on, pointer. Oh Lord, hold on. I think I totally moved this up here by mistake. Right. Okay, here we go. Right. So effects. Right? That's the default location for it, right? All right. So once you head over to effects, you can just type the word stabilize, and it will show you all the plugins that has the word stable. You're looking for this one, Warp Stabilizer, right? And Warp Stabilizer also exists in After Effects as well, all right? As a matter of fact, it is really an After Effects feature that put in Premiere. What you do, you drag the Warp Stabilizer onto your footage, and then you're going to see this thing analyzing in background, and it's going to be using your CPU. So if I look on my Task Manager, you will notice that my CPU is starting to ramp up. Yeah, you'll notice it started to ramp up because it's actually, this footage is kind of long. That's the other thing. When you're doing stabilization, you want to do it on some short footages, right? Most of you should have like 6 seconds, 5 seconds, not more than 10 seconds of video. All right. I mean, I have a fairly good computer and like it's still stabilizing now. So yeah, you don't want to be stabilizing forever. All right, there we go. Now it's all done. Now, once you add the stabilization to the video, you can tweak the settings. You find that under effect controls, and if I scroll down, you will see where it says warp stabilization, and everything is default now. So let's play it back and see how it looks. Wow, that looks pretty smooth. Still kind of wobbly, but definitely smoother. Let's compare before and after. What did I full screen this again? Full screen is that. There we go. Right. So put this over here, and I'll put this over here. All right. So on the left, we have the original, right? You guys can see this okay on your screen, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me pause that. On the right, we have the stabilized version. It doesn't replay. Let me play two of them. Oh, it doesn't. I forget where you go to get it to. Okay. All right. Fine. I'll just remind both of them. Play, 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 play. Anybody notice any differences?
No, sir.
Really? Play and play. Play. No difference? Okay. All right. Cool. 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 No problem. All right. I mean, remember I tell you, I mean, it's like Photoshop, right? Like it can do magic, but it needs stuff to do magic with, right? So if your picture was horrible to begin with, if your video was horrible to begin with, it not always can save it. Let's try a different one. Hopefully one that gives you more. All right. Let's see. What about that push in shot? It was one of these. That shot is actually interesting. This was a rise up shot. No. All right, what about this one? Okay. Let's add this to the timeline. There we go. This is like 9 seconds. I'm gonna make it shorter. All right, you know what? Just leave it on the original. I'm gonna go to effects. I already typed the word stabilize here. Warp stabilize. I'm going to drag it to the effect. And it's now analyzing. So it's going to be using my CPU to get this done. I just realized I still have Unreal open in the background. Maybe I should close it. You know what? Maybe I need it. So I'm going to leave it. It does give you an indication of how long it's going to take. If you can see this number going here, where it says 50%, it says 63%. Can you guys see that number ticking away?
Yes, sir.
All right. 82%. All right. Now, in addition to using the warp stabilizer, I'm also going to slow down the footage, as that's another trick that you can use. Okay, it's all done. I'm going to go into speed and
Sir,
duration.
you can't do that. You can't use both of them.
Oh,
That's
yes.
the downside.
Right. But you can. Okay, you can nest it. A nest is like putting the folder, is like putting the video in a folder and then applying the effect to it. Think of it as if
As
you're
in
in Photoshop.
save. Oh, I was thinking that you're going to say save save this video
No,
with
no,
the
no. You don't have to
okay,
do that.
okay, okay.
Right. Yeah. So when you nest, it's like your other effect. It's like using a smart object in Photoshop. I don't know if anybody remembers that. So anyway, let's play it first to see what we get right out of the box first, right? So this is it. And this is 50% smoothness. Let's try 100% smoothness. Oh Lord, do we have to wait on this again? Yeah, we totally have to wait on this again. It's not giving me the timer. Oh, good. All right, let's try this again. Any differences, guys?
A little bit, sir, but doesn't it have another some stabilizer like that? Like
Well,
DaVinci?
the other thing you can do when you get this smaller. Right. I'm gonna nest it, which is like putting it in a folder. All right, so when it turns green, so basically you put the video in another video and then you apply the effect to the video again. All right, so this time around I'm gonna slow it down, like put that 50%, no, put that 200%, no, 50%, because I'm going slower, right? Yeah, because remember, usually when you capture the footage, you're not going to use all of it, you're just going to use like 5 seconds. So maybe I use from here to like here. All right, so it's still 9 seconds. And if I play this back, you know, it definitely starts to get a bit more smoother. What do you guys think?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, in addition to that, you can use different formulas for smoothing. So go in here and then click on the video. Right. So here's the stabilization. So right now it's using what's called subspace warp. Depending on the type of views, different algorithms work differently. So for this view, I'm doing a push in. If I was doing a pan shot, then maybe a different one would work. So subspace warp is like what it's actually doing is it is basically taking an edge that it can identify and it's trying to keep that edge in that location by moving the picture around. So the picture is slightly zoomed in a little more and it's moving the picture around to kind of counteract the movement. It's basically doing a digital version of what the iPhone or any image stabilization does, right? So this is usually the best one. The position one, it does it, but it tries to move only the position and it doesn't warp it. So basically you can try these different algorithms to see if it gives you a different solutions. The better results.
Increase the smoothness, sir, from
Well,
100% up.
Oh, you mean make it more than 100? Okay. All right.
Down at the bottom. Yes, right there.
Let's make it 200 then. Why not?
500, sir.
Whoa, all right. Usually though, I mean, what persons would do, you ever see those footage that's butter smooth? They use a gimbal plus they do image stabilization on it. But remember, the more stabilization you add is the more detail you're going to lose. So, you know, pick your battles. All right, so let's try it now at 500. What do you guys think? Let's look at the original. That's the original. This is the smooth. Notice any difference, guys?
Yes, sir.
Way better, sir.
Way better. All right, cool. Now you are losing detail, but you're not really seeing it through the Zoom share screen. But like for me here, like definitely this is more blurry than the other one. So all right, so quickly, okay, this is DaVinci. Let me close it so that you can see it from. Now, DaVinci, because as you know, Premiere Pro is not free. DaVinci, you can just go to the DaVinci's website, give them your email, and you can download DaVinci totally free. DaVinci is pretty cool because it's a combination of Premiere Pro and After Effects and Photoshop-ish mixed up in one package. So that is actually pretty cool. Maybe a little overwhelming, but anyway, so I'm going to just go to a new project and I'll call this test. I hope I remember how to do this. So this is how DaVinci looks. It looks kind of similar. And the way how DaVinci works is down here. Imagine these down here as different software. So imagine, I like to think of it as this is Premiere Pro, this is After Effects, this is like what's Lightroom, and this is what's the audio one called again? Audible or something like that. Audition, right? That is for editing like sound. So DaVinci has all of these built in one actually, which is pretty cool, but also can be a little complex. Anyway, we're just going to use this one. This is the one just like Premiere Pro, right? Like Premiere Pro, we have a timeline down here and you have your clips here. So I can just drag my clip here and I'll just drag it to the timeline. So this is that very same clip. All right. Then in DaVinci, you want to go up to effects, which is here. DaVinci's window system is a little weird, so you get used to it, right? Anyway, so you turn effects on, it's over here. And then you want to look under effects, under stabilization, maybe video. Oh, these are cool. You have awesome video transitions in anyway, let's not get distracted. That's not why we came here. We came here to stabilize. So I think it's under, oh my goodness, audio transition tiles. Oh,
It should be under effects, sir.
Yeah, but I don't think it's.
Or maybe you have to pick the video first. I don't know.
No, it should be under this is transitions, titles. These are the different titles, right? So you have the titles there, generators, expand effects. Okay. Stable. Hold on, I'm not forgetting. Oh, right. It's a setting. I don't think it's an effect. It's a setting. It's a setting. Oh Lord, one window there.
Also, turn on instance. Click
Turn
on
on?
inspector, sir.
Inspector, right? It's a setting. Not
Yeah.
effects in DaVinci is like transitions and that kind of stuff, right? So inspector is where you have all of the things where you can, for example, zoom the video or crop it and stuff like that. All of that is under inspector. Anyway, Here we go, stabilization. So if we expand that down, then we can stabilize, and then there are different algorithms. There is perspective, similarity, transition, smoothness is down here, so we can max out the smoothness again, I guess. Let's try the default one and just choose stabilize. And then we're waiting for this. This actually stabilizes much quicker than Premiere. All right. Premiere took much longer. All right. And let's check it out.
I'm sure you have more than one stabilization mode as well.
Exactly. Right. So
That one is way better, for real.
way better, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
And you see the difference immediately.
Yeah, right off the bat, right? And we haven't even slowed down the footage yet, you know? So when you slow it down, it's supposed to look even better, right? Yeah, pretty cool.
But sir, what I don't understand is the difference between the different modes. Can you ever drop down the arrow?
Yeah,
right
so for
here,
example, how do you explain this now? Like, okay, like perspective. Let me show you. The best way to show you that is actually in Twinmotion. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, like showing you how DaVinci works in Twinmotion, but bear with me a little bit. All right, so let me go to a new project. Come on. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, computer. All right, here we go. Right. So if I use a where did I find this? Objects, primitive, plane. Yeah, let's use a plane here. Right. Okay. This is so weird. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Right. So what DaVinci is doing, 90, put this over here, is that it's treating the video like it's a plane, and it's actually rotating the plane like this. Like I'm rotating this now, but you're not really seeing it, right? Not unless I zoom out, and then you see that I'm actually rotating it. Actually, if I use here, but I'm like rotating it, but zoomed in. So perspective is kind of like doing that. Or think about it like another maybe better example is, oh Lord, where is, I thought I opened Photoshop. You ever warp an image in Photoshop? Use the warp tool to make something look like it's going in perspective. Basically, the program is doing that in the background, right? So
okay, I get it now.
right, so that's perspective. Translation means that it's not warping it, it's just moving it. So translation would probably work maybe if you were going side to side, maybe. But you know what? Whatever mode you choose, the best way to get it to work is that it needs a reference point. So for example, this edge and this edge and this edge is always in the view for basically 90% of the video, because like you can see this edge from here to like here. So the video is using this edge as a reference to hold the video steady by warping it around. But as soon as you go outside those edges, it doesn't really have a reference again. I mean, it does have a reference out here, kinda, but it's kind of small. But these difference in edges is what really helps the warp stabilization to work, right? But of course, ultimately, you just need to take a nice steady video. Like, can you imagine if you took like a nice smooth video on an iPhone or something and then throw it into warp stabilization? Man, you'd be like butter smooth. butter smooth. Right? So yeah. So anyway, those are the two things you can do, guys, to smooth up your video for your assignment 3. All right? And hopefully you can use this in the future when you need to do your stuff.
Sir, I had a question regarding the assignment. Let's say you didn't get all of the clips of one subject while you were over there.
No,
Like,
don't worry about it. You can use many subjects.
okay, thank you.
Right. So a guardhouse, entry, doorway, whatever. Doesn't matter. All right. All right. So now this is not a Twinmotion tutorial, really. This is more of a cinematography tips, I would call it, right? So what I'm doing is not really about Twinmotion necessarily. This can be used in any program, any 3D program, these tips, right? But I'm just happening to use Twinmotion here, right? And over the years, like, Twinmotion definitely has improved to the point where we can use it a lot. Use it for this example. All right. Now I want to kind of start from the top, come down. So if you remember this is what we looked on earlier. I was in that camera, that National Geographic lens that allowed me to, like, you know, spy on your next door neighbors. This kind of looks like what I'm doing here. Anyway, right. So this is that project that I showed you guys earlier, right? I think this was like from 2022 or 21, 22, 22, 23, 2022, about that. And if you notice, some of these areas might look incomplete, like there are no furniture here and no stuff here, but then you might look like a different area here and you see all kind of stuff here. And that is because it's set up for each camera view. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I wanted to show you this project. Every year I show a different one. I just kind of pick a project that I worked on that would be a good kind of example for the class, right? And as I said, this is with Unreal Engine. And I want to show you the final video and then talk about some of the techniques that was used in that video. Don't worry, it's coming. Come on, computer. You can do it. Oh, wow. Come on, computer. Some of these things are in the cloud, so gotta wait for it to
Are you sure
wait
to
for
close
it.
some other stuff? Don't you have like Unreal and not Unreal? No, you have like Premiere Pro and DaVinci open at the same time.
Exactly, and PowerPoint.
By the way, impressive, sir. You're very impressive.
Well, this is not because of that. This is just the internet now. Because it's in Google Drive, and when I browse the folders, I have to wait for Google Drive to catch up. But yes, I do actually need to close it for this. But I just wanted to keep this open so that I can show you some of the techniques that were used. I'm almost there. I have one more folder to go into now. Come on. All right. And we're gonna play this in what's it called again? VLC. There we go. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's take a look on this. Are you hearing the audio, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Here we go. All right, there we go. All right, that brought back some fun times. Yeah, so that was believe me, those things are not one-man shows, right? So that's a combination of different team members working on different aspects and putting the whole thing together, right? So there is the architecture side of modeling and all of that, but then there is the part of generating the views and the images. So when you look on, let me just do this without the music. Right. So like some of these shots here, push in, pull out,
Sir, pause that, sir.
parallax. Yeah.
No, that one, I was going to ask a question, sir. Like, oh, you do the video with the actual background in there as well.
All right. Yeah, that was
We achieve that, sir. We achieve that. I always want to try and do it, but I don't really understand that well in a video format still, in a video format.
well, we are going to touch on it a little, but in a nutshell, it is what you call a spherical image that you take that, as a complete 360 image. Twinmotion has them built in, and I'm sure some of you probably see them before. You can create your own. You do need a drone, Yeah, to make life easier, you do need a drone, and you basically take the shots and you stitch them together. I'm going to show some of these things, but of course, not everything. But that is the short answer. It is a spherical image that we take. You take the front, the back, the top, the bottom, the left, half right. You take about 15 different images, stitch them together. Actually, you can use Lightroom to stitch them together as well, right? But we're not going to go too deep into that, right? I wanted to show you this video and to just point out that the same kind of techniques, this is a parallax, right? Remember the parallax view? Now, there are different things that are being layered on top of each other here, right? Apart from the technical stuff like the modeling and all that stuff, the cinematic stuff, we're still talking about the technology, the art, and the lighting, right? So all those things we talked about the lens, right? We talk about the cinematic camera views, the parallax, the rise up, the push in, the pull out. There is another element, we're not going to deal with it today, but our next class, and that has to do with the post editing, meaning the music. Okay, you might notice that the video kind of goes to the music. We're going to look on that next class. But what we want to do now in this class is just look on how we achieve some of the cinematic camera movements, right? Which it doesn't matter if you're using Unreal or 3D Max or Twinmotion, those are the same, right? So a lot of parallax. This is a parallax again, right? This is a tracking shot, right? I hope those of you that did the tracking, actually, I shouldn't be showing you that now because you were supposed to research tracking, right? Anyway, tracking shot means the camera is following something, but this is a tracking reveal shot. So when you start to do these, you can start to combine them together. So it's tracking the vehicle, but it's also revealing the units. So as soon as it reveals the unit, it stops tracking, right? So that's like, and the rest of these, this is a parallax view, right? We're just parallaxing around the table, pushing, and another parallax here, another parallax, and another parallax. So there's a lot of like parallax shot, especially in architecture, because you want to show the surrounding, right? Then this is a rise up shot. That's a rise up shot right there, right? Kind of like an aerial rise up, right? Right. So you have all of these different views, right? So I just wanted to show you and to kind of to show, you know, that hey, all this is possible. This is the working file. There's nothing special in this file. The specialty comes from manipulating the camera views and the camera angles, right? It's not about if you render with V-Ray or Unreal or whatever. That does help, but an understanding of lens and all of that photography stuff, that plays a major part in this. All right, so now I'm finally going to close this so that I can get back some memory. And I'm gonna just show you this before we jump into Twinmotion. All right, you guys remember I showed you this slide last semester, right? We were talking about some of the technical skill sets in architecture. And we looked at these different categories, right? Especially that you guys are like leaving school now and going on. We talk about modeling, computation, BIM or construction drawings, visualization, graphics, and then immersive. So these are like, I guess you could say, the kind of emerging technical fields in architecture. This doesn't, of course, architecture is more. I mean, there is, of course, design. I didn't even include design in this because that's not necessarily a technical thing. You know, I'm just kind of focusing on the technical stuff, right? You do it with the computer, with the camera, with the, you know, some kind of technology, right? each of these categories, you can determine, or you can determine what level you are in each of these, right? So are you basic, intermediate, advanced, or expert, right? And this is how you categorize yourself. You know, basic 6 months, you did one project, university level, I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule, but you get it. So if somebody, if you're going into a job or a position and you need to like display your technical skills, right? Which is a combination of everything you've done over the last 4 years up until now. You would say, okay, am I like a graphics person? You know, you do a lot of Photoshop and video editing and layouts, and you know, when you do your sheet, it's like, right, are you that type of person? Are you a construction drawing production person? So you know, you can, you do a lot of, you know, a bit about construction drawings, you can do details, you have an understanding of how things come together, and you can represent that in a drawing, right? Computation, this one is not so hot, especially locally in Jamaica. Computation, you guys, you ever notice in Revit, you see something called macros? Anybody? Anybody ever heard that term before? Macros?
No, sir.
Yes.
Well, every program has like macros, and it's like a way that you can, it's like persons who are familiar with programming, right? So like one of my classmates that worked on the parliament project, and he's doing some work now, and he's saying like, you know, he's doing Revit in his office, and he's like, you have some guys that they don't draw, they do programs in Revit to make life easier for people who are using Revit, right? That's like computation. So you know, the wall tool, they need to do a special wall tool and they create a macro or a program so that, I don't know, when you draw the wall tool, it automatically have 3 windows in there at the company
So is it like
standards.
Dynamo?
Right, like Dynamo, right? Which the Dynamo, for those who don't know, is like it is like a feature in Revit that allows you to create like scripts and plugins. I'm sure for those of you who use SketchUp, you know, you some of us probably download plugins to make the program more do stuff that it couldn't do. That
Yes,
is the
sir, and also Grasshopper and Rhino.
right, exactly, especially Grasshopper and Rhino, that require you to have this kind of computation, kind of think of it like computer programming mixed with architecture, kind of a thing. So you actually have people out there that, you know, that they love this stuff, they specialize in that stuff, but they're still architecture, but they're very computer programming minded in how they think. Anyway, so that is definitely there. Though it's not really popular in the Caribbean, but you know, of course, there's modeling as well, right? There are some persons that are just great with modeling. That Kamal, what's it? The name of the event that you guys are going to go to tomorrow. He was in one of the classes. He was excellent at modeling. There are some people that they learn the idea of sculpting, both from a physical and a digital perspective, persons might be good at, right? Because remember, architecture, you know, design also has to do with modeling as well. So you're talking about sculptures, and or maybe you have these wild building facades that move like water, you know, that it's very, you know, it is very dynamic, and you're able to model that. Yeah, so that is modeling. Visualization, obviously, that's more up my alley, right? And visualization is not just rendering. Oh, no, it's not. Visualization also has to do with what you did last semester in Advanced Computing 1, which is why I showed you this there, right? So you're talking about illustrations. It kind of overlaps a little bit with graphics, but visualization also has to do, there's a technical part to it, which we go into a little bit here, that has to do with camera lens and photography and ray tracing and rendering, network rendering and render nodes. And, the rabbit hole goes deep, right? But that's another area as well. And then another emerging one is AR and VR. Of course, that's not so popular here, but yeah, you have persons who are in the field of architecture that's specialize in AR, VR. What is your experience in a virtual world when you go into this building, right? So anyway, so I wanted to just kind of show this back to you so you can kind of have an idea of these different areas. It's not like, and for each of these, you don't need to be an expert. Look, expert is somebody 5 years of experience. You work on multiple projects. You have actually done the work in within in some firm or another, and you are capable of teaching it to other people, right? This is a good kind of definition of what would classify you as an expert. But there are many areas to choose from, and this is not all the areas. I mean, there are people in architecture that just work in Excel spreadsheets all day, right? One of my other good friends that I went to school with, which is a senior person in a firm, and I mean, they do documents every day. They do user manuals for a building, because when you deliver a building, you have to have, like, just like how you deliver a TV, the architectural firm has to do a user manual. Where are all the bathrooms located, and where, basically that, especially for commercial buildings, right? And somebody has to do that document, right? You have persons that just deal with the legal part of architecture, just the contracts and, stuff like what you learn in office practice, right? Right. So there are other areas. I'm just focused on the technical area because you're in advanced computing. So we're talking about computing. But I'm just saying this to say that when you leave CSA, you think about, okay, where am I in each of these technical levels? Am I basic? Am I intermediate? And you want to aim to be somewhere in intermediate. My rule is jack of all trades and master of one, right? Master of one, that is key. I believe you should be really good at one thing. You can't be good at everything, but don't be half good in everything. I mean, some people will do the opposite and say, no, I want to know 10% of everything. But I would say, no, 80% of one thing and 5% of everything else. But everybody has their own point of view. But I just want to point this out to you so you can kind of start to figure out, where are my skills leading me? Like, am I a graphic, or am I a 3D, am I a visualization person? Am I a modeling person? Am I a BIM construction management person? All right. Any questions on this, guys? Before I move on. Everybody following? Have I left anybody in the dust?
Following, sir. For me personally, it's kind of hard to say really where my skills are leading me, sir, at this young stage. But I would more go for the BIM and the modeling.
Well, no problem. I think that now is a good time to identify what you think you have a knack for, and then you start to invest, right? So, right. Start to invest in something. All right. So, back to our regular scheduled program. So we had unveiled the assignment, the final assignment, right? Which is, I can find it here. Come on. No, that's not it. Where did it go? Let's minimize that. Minimize that. Oh, Lord. I think I closed it. Here we go. Right. So we're going to pick one of these buildings. And guess what? I have some sites for you that you can use, right? So if you scroll down at the bottom of the assignment, you will see these links right here, right? And what they are some of them are videos, some of them are presentations, some of them we haven't gotten to yet. But what you're looking for, you have two environments you can pick from, right? Option 1 and option 2, right? They are FBX files, I believe. So they will work with pretty much any program, whether most people use Lumion or Twinmotion. Most people I think end up using Twinmotion because that's the one I show, right? But by now you probably have your go-to 3D program. You can use anything you want, right? So what you're going to do for this assignment, you're going to pick your building, which you already picked, but you need somewhere to put your building. And for that, you're going to see it here. Now, there are some other files here. Just ignore it for now. Like there are some music files. We're going to use that later down in the module. And there are some other files. Oh, these are the building model files. Just in case you don't have them. Remember I told you to hang on to them, right? So hopefully you did. Some of you might have gone ahead and made some edits to them. You can use that one to do this assignment. But we're gonna just run through the process just quickly so you guys have an idea of what to expect for this assignment, right? So in this case, I'm using Twinmotion, right? And well, the first thing I want to do is to download one of those sites, right? So when you open up Twinmotion, it opens with this default ground, right? But I'm not going to use it, so I'm going to select everything and press delete, all right? As I said, this is not a Twinmotion tutorial, so I might go a little fast. You can ask me questions if you want. Remember that there is also the video at the end, so you can always rewind the video and look at it. I'm using 22.2.2. 22.2.2 has this new rendering thing called Lumen. That's the big feature in it. But if you can also 22.1 and up has the new layout. So you have these double windows here and you can minimize this thing here. Any version before that, the layout is going to look different. So you want to get 22.1 and up, I believe. So that what I'm doing here doesn't look weird to you.
So I mean,
Twinmotion made a big shift. Yeah, go ahead.
you mean 23, sir? 23.1?
Sorry, 23.1, right. I think Twinmotion made a big shift in 23.1. I think that's the one where they changed up the layout and all of that. So yeah. All right. Okay. Before we get started, I do also want to show this real quick. Next time around, we're gonna watch some movies, but we're not gonna watch some movies yet. This is just a presentation on Unreal because I do this from time to time. I just want to show you this so you know what Twinmotion is, right? So, Epic Games is the company that makes Twinmotion, right? Some of you might know that already. Epic Games also publishes games. So things like Fortnite, Unreal Tournament, Gears of War, like those video games that you play, they also publish games. But they, apart from publishing games, they do software. And two of the biggest software is Unreal Engine and Twinmotion, right? So they have different type of customers, the ones that make games and the ones that what they call enterprise. Enterprise architecture falls under enterprise. Anything to do with design, architecture, it falls under enterprise, right? So Unreal Engine, well, it used to be free, so I need to edit this slide. As of April, and the newer version of Unreal Engine is no longer free if you are a $1 million company. If you are an artist or making less than $1 million, it's free to you. Million US, by the way, not Jamaican. right? So if you are a Steelcase or Zaha Hadid, yeah, Unreal Engine will cost you $1,800 per month. But if you are a Brian Williams, right? or you teach Unreal or whatever, it's completely free. All right. Twinmotion is free for educational and non-commercial use, right? So you can just go and download Twinmotion. You can just go and download Unreal and jump in it, right? That's one of the reasons why it's taking off more than Lumion. There, it's more open, right? I'm gonna skip a lot of these. Yeah, these are all features of Unreal. I'm just gonna jump all the way. I'm gonna try to get to some of these like this. This is really cool. I usually show this in advanced computing too. There's so much things to show. Right, this one here. So Unreal, imagine Unreal like a slice of pizza. Twinmotion is one slice, right? And I always use the example that, yes, I use Unreal a lot. So I use about 3 slices out of the 12, right? So that gives you an idea of just how much I don't know, right? But Twinmotion is like one little slice out of Unreal. So basically, you know what they say, what's one man's garbage, right? So, a new feature comes out in Unreal, and after a while, it trickle down to Twinmotion, right? Which is very useful for architecture, by the way. All right. So that is where Twinmotion falls. So that's one of the reasons why I choose to invest in Twinmotion in terms of using it, because it has a bigger brother out there that their hand-me-downs are beautiful, right? Jeremy, you have a question?
Yes, sir. So the working file that you were showing us earlier in an Unreal Engine, that's the modeling software?
Yes, that is the software. I did use a combination of other programs. For example, the building was modeled in Revit.
Okay.
The site was done in 3D Max, but everything was put together with the cameras and lighting and all of that in Unreal.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Right. Right. You can model and do everything in Unreal if you are brave, right? But as I always find this interesting because I also used to teach at Edna Manley, and I used to teach modeling there for a little while. And I remember they have an assignment to model like a house or like some structure. And they looked at the persons who use Revit and AutoCAD and these architecture programs and say, those programs are so like overcomplicated. If I want to build a house, I would just use extrude and subtract and those very basic modeling tools. And the people in architecture would say you'd have to be insane to build an entire building using extrude and subtract and those modeling. So if you ever decide to use like a program like Unreal or some art program to build the stuff in architecture, don't expect to see a window tool and a wall tool. All right, so that is my little introduction of Unreal, of Twinmotion and Unreal and where it stands, right? Okay, so when you open up Twinmotion, what you're gonna do, you're gonna go to import, all right? As I said, most of you are probably familiar with this, very similar to Lumion. You go to import, and then you're gonna download the site that you want to use. So I'm going to go to open, and I already downloaded everything to my desktop. All right, and I downloaded it from the website. So schoolwork, here we go. So here are the different models, and you have 2 sites. You have the city, European city, and then you have residential site with park. Both of them are pretty cool. You can use any one you want. Totally up to you. Some of them works better depending on the type of building you have. So let me go with the European city. Now, when you load this, you're gonna get this window here, and it's the main options here to keep track of is keep hierarchy means you keep every object as a separate object, and collapse means everything is one object. So you want to make sure this is on keep hierarchy. And I mean, if you want, you can choose full precision normals. This just makes your glass material more, what's the word, accurate. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen the difference, but so I just click it because better is better, right? And I choose import. And then it's going to say about material stuff. I'm just going to say use scene material. All right. Now you might get an error message. Oh crap, I didn't get it, but you might get it. Yeah, this is what it looks like. I want to show you that message. So I'm going to close Twinmotion and open it again from scratch. Here we go. How many people here use Twinmotion by show of hands? Show of digital hands. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 7. Yeah, what? Almost half the class? All right. So what do you say you use? Lumion?
Yes, sir.
Ah, I see. Let me ask you a question. Are you going to use Lumion for this assignment?
No, sir, Twinmotion.
Okay, cool. It seems I have made some influences. Epic should pay me some money. What's happening, Epic? All right, cool. All right, so let's do this again. I'm going to go to import and plus, and let me see if I get that message now. Let me try the European city. Choose import. Oh, okay. I think I know why it's not giving me the error message. All right. Now there are some, I'm going to bring up the folder for you. There are 2 zip files. And when I say zip file, I mean compressed folders with all of the materials and textures for the site, right? So what I did is that I extracted them. So here they are. It's called it's actually RAR files, not zip files. So you when you extract them, they will have all of the maps, they will have all of the textures that you need to open the site. So if your Twinmotion pops up and say, hey, I'm not finding this texture and that texture and this texture, you're just going to point it. It's going to come up with a message to say it can't find these textures, show me where they are, and you need to point it to wherever you unzip the file to, right? Or I think you can just unzip it to the same folder and it should just pick up, which is like what it's doing here. It seemed to just automatically find them. So yeah, don't kick the gift horse. All right, so this is the European site. This is what it looks like. I think this is supposed to be like a river here, and it has this very cool looking thing that goes underground to like a subway or something, right? This is the where you would put your building if the building is compatible with this site. Your building may or may not be compatible. You can just pick the other site, right? Even if you want to use a different building than what you got, you're free to do that, right? So you don't have to use the building that you use for your previous assignment. All right. So I'm gonna use building 7. That's this one here. So now I've imported this. I'm gonna go to the plus and I'm going to choose building 7. I can use either the SketchUp or the FBX because Twinmotion takes both. But I'm going to recommend you take the FBX over the SketchUp. All right. All right. So now the building is there and oh, it's almost dropped in the position that I wanted to drop in already. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, maybe you shouldn't take the FBX because it has no materials. Oh, brother. It has no materials. Hmm. All right. So I'm going to delete this building. Now on the right-hand side is my scene graph. Pull this down. So this has all the objects in my scene, right? Wall 1, wall 2, wall 3, all of the objects here. I'm going to scroll to the top of this list and I can minimize it. So one of these is the building model, which is this, and the other one is the site, which is that, right? So they're all condensed into a folder. I'm going to delete the building model because the FBX doesn't have materials, and I'm going to delete it from here as well. Is it this one? Yeah. So I'm going to delete. And this time around, I'm going to take the SketchUp file. What was it? Building 7? The SketchUp file has a little caveat that I don't like about SketchUp, importing SketchUp. Oh, hold on. This still has no material. Oh, man. That means I'm going to have to add materials. I could swear I put materials on it. Ah, oh, well. Oh, well. Let me check to see if do I need to maybe I didn't download the textures for the building. Yeah, let me check. Because I don't want you guys to have to waste time to add materials. Because this is not about adding materials. This is about cinematography. Right, guys?
Cinematography.
Right, exactly. Not promising anything. Hopefully, I could swear that they had materials. So let's see if they do. Where is it? Virtual camera assignment. Let me open the SketchUp file as well. I guess. I don't know, guys. I'm not seeing any not seeing any materials. Assets. Okay. Yeah. Let's put that over there. Put that over there. All right. I'm just gonna open the SketchUp file to see if it has materials. Was it building 7? Oh, yes, it really doesn't. Oh man. Hold on, guys. The buildings I gave you, didn't they have materials? The one you got for the Squid Games thing.
Think so,
It
sir.
looked exactly
Yes, sir.
like that.
It looked exact, meaning what? It didn't have materials?
It just looked, yeah, just like that.
Bland.
Everything was all generic.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. Oh well. I mean, it's not that much stuff, so I guess, but I just thought, okay, fine. Okay, fine. So there are no materials. So, all right. Then we'll have the joy of adding materials to the building, right? All right, so might as well I just use the FBX. All right, so this one just drops right in the site. That's lovely. Now you can still move them around. So for example, maybe I shouldn't be showing you an example because you guys should be coming up with your own stuff. But anyway, so the building has a base I don't want to use it, so I'm going to just delete that. So I just have the building alone. If I want to reorient the building, I'm just gonna use my scene graph here and just click on the main route for the scene graph, and then I can just move the building. I figure this is very similar to Lumion, the way that it moves the building around. I think that's okay. All right, now here's the key thing, guys. It's not about the site. Like, you don't need to go in and add trees and detail the whole thing. What I am, remember, the objective, what we're marking for, what you're getting a grade for is, here it is. You are to do all of these cinematic movements. That is what you're getting grade for. Now, obviously, you're going to add materials because you don't want to do it with just the bland building, right? But I'm saying this to say that to show, for example, like a push in, pull out, that you're not showing all the building, you're showing some of the building. Maybe like the aerial tracking, you might see some, but I just don't want you to get carried away with like, putting a flowers vase on the table and that kind of stuff, because that's really not what you're getting grade for, right? All right, so let's add some quick materials. Maybe I could have removed the materials purposefully, because this is supposed to also be like a little tutorial as well. So who knows? Maybe I did do that and I didn't remember. All right, scrolling through this long list here is so annoying. So I use the home key to go to the top of the list and then make it smaller. So that way I can just click on the, I hate when it does that. Just click on the name to move it. I just want to move this here so that it lines up like that. Put it down on the ground a little bit, something like that. I don't know. You can position the building how you see fit. If you want to get a specific angle, because you're always stuck at like 5-degree increments, you can actually go down here where it says this XYZ thing. So for this object, it's called object, which is this. I can say rotate the Z 3 degrees, right? And that's how you can get it to be like a very specific angle, right? Maybe 2.5. No, maybe 1.5. Yeah, there we go. We're just trying to align this edge here. All right. All right. So as it relates to materials, you find that over here. So you go to materials. I would go to glass, clear, and okay. I would want to definitely change this option here to by object. So that way it adds to just one object alone, which is a little annoying, but yes, let's have fun applying this to the glass. No, you cannot add glass to multiple objects. By the way, guys, Twinmotion, Lumion, D5, what's another one? Chaos Vantage. All of those programs are really meant to be like, they are not super complex, which means that they don't have a whole lot of options. For example, when I open Unreal and you saw like the entourage of buttons and knobs, these programs are not trying to do that. But the disadvantage of that is that you might not find the option you're looking for. So, choose your poison. I mean, if you want to go, remember I showed you this graph that gives you an idea of how deep you want to go in each of these topics. So for example, if you're going to be in the advanced category of BIM, then you best be using like Revit, or give me another BIM program, guys.
ArchiCAD.
Right. Give me a BIM program that you would not be using if you were going for the advanced or even expert level.
ArchiCAD.
Archi Okay, you really don't like ArchiCAD, right? Um actually ArchiCAD is right up there. So I would say like chief architect or home styler. Yeah, those would be for basic, not even intermediate, right? So for example, for visualization, Lumion, Revit, D5, all of those are like intermediate. Don't cuss me. There are some people that would disagree and say, what are you talking about? Lumion is like very advanced and whatever. So, okay, fine. It is. But um
Sir, I
definitely
think these days the lines get blurry, sir, with all of them.
exactly. But one thing is for sure, when you open 3D Max and when you open Maya and when you open Unreal Engine, those are not basic for sure, right? So that's what I'm meaning to say. They will take you so far and that's it. So if I was doing a 20-story building and for some reason my model came over as just one white object, so the only way to add glass is to add them individually, there's no way I would be adding for every single pane of glass the material. This it would just not be, what's the word? Zane, right? And because this isn't an advanced program, I don't have all of these fancy tools for structuring materials, filtering lists, applied to multiple objects. Because those would make the program way more complex. But the disadvantage is that you can't really do a complex project with it, or you'll be risking, you know. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. So I'm just going to add in materials, and I'll just go to wall covering and add like a nice wall texture of brown. Oh, that's horrible. Blue. I don't know. Okay, let's try blue. But definitely we want to make this smaller. So when we apply it here over on this side, let me expand this out. The new Twinmotion can expand these out. I'm going to change my scale to be much smaller. Then what I want to do is I want to look in my materials tab, which is down here, and it will show me all the materials that I've used in this project. So this is the last one I use. So I can now drag this here and here. Okay, what are we gonna do with this? Let's make this like concrete. So let's go to materials and concrete and maybe this. That looks pretty good. Oh, it's so big. So I'm gonna scale it down. Oh, by the way, guys, if I needed to scale it smaller than 0.1, this scale bar doesn't give me smaller than 0.1, but I can type it in, so I can type 0.5. I mean, oh, 0.05, right. There you go. And how about this tile for these walls? Ooh, that's looking nice. Apply it here and apply it here. One thing about these programs though, I mean, it's quick, but hold on, what's going on here? This is glass maybe? Oh yeah, they are window frames. So I want to add glass, glass, and glass. And then for my window frames, maybe I want to choose something like metal, I don't know, black, some kind of black metal like that looks weird. Maybe silver. I need more contrast. Oh, I don't want to go too deep with this. By the way, some of these you might notice you can't drag, and that's because they need to be downloaded. But in order to download them, you need to sign in to your Epic Games account, which you would have had to do to download Twinmotion in the first place. So once you do that, you can just click the download and they will download to the program, right? And once you do that, Actually, I don't like that material anymore. So, all right. So I'm just going to use brushed aluminum. And then I'm going to change the color of the brushed aluminum to like something dark like that. All right. All right. So brushed aluminum. All right, guys. What do you guys think? Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're not going to be super picky about the materials because we're just doing an example. So I'm just I'll save the fun for you guys to do all of that stuff. Oh, we have the inside of these as well. Brushed aluminum. Oh my gosh, I have to add to each one. I apologize ahead of time, guys, because this is so much fun for you to be adding to every object. You are welcome. I'm not going to add it to everything here, but I will add that. All right, cool. All right, I'm using ASWD to move around, all right, like I'm playing Call of Duty or something. You can also move stuff on the site around as well, like these lampposts. Actually, they're all one object, so yeah, that might be tricky. Anyway, all right. Now, in order to do this assignment, you're going to need to do the same shots. Rise up, push in, pull out, tracking, all of those things. So I'll just try to give you a quick example. Let's try the reveal. So for the reveal, you need something to reveal against. So reveal could be... This actually looks pretty good, right? This could be a nice pull-out view. Now, if you can't find anything to reveal against, you can just create it. So let's create a tree or something. So let's go to vegetation, trees. And the default trees in Twinmotion are, well, I would say not super impressive, but they're good enough. So this is the tree there. I'm going to change the size by just scaling it down, going to the scale tool here and just, there you go. I think that's too small now. So maybe I could do a reveal like this. You know, maybe like the tree, I'm revealing the building from behind the tree. That's pretty cool. Or I could do a reveal like this, like it's just coming up. Reveal like this. That one is, I think that one looks pretty good. You know what would be nice if I could flip this around the other way? I wonder if I can do that. Building. I don't think I can flip in. I don't think I've ever tried that before. Yeah, can you mirror? I don't think you can mirror. Anyway, I don't want to, this is not for discovering new things. All right, so let's do the push in shot. All right, so to do those shots, I want to go to media. I'm going to go over to video because what you're submitting is going to be a video, guys. All right, so I'm going to go to video and I'm going to click the plus. And how this works is you set up your first frame. Now, right away, if you remember some of the things we discussed, the human eye sees, who remember what is the lens of your human eye? What millimeter? Anybody remember?
35.
Exactly.
Like 32.
So 35 can be anywhere in the 30s. So right now, this is looking a little bit stretched because if I look at my camera, it's at 18. So I'm going to change this to 35. And then right away now it becomes a little bit more believable, you know? So to do the push in shot, oh, I just realized that this comes up right here. Yeah, I could totally do a reveal shot coming up from below. I just realized that. Anyway, so I'm going to do the push in shot here, pushing in like that. So I'm going to choose my first location, which is about right here. Now, if you find that your mouse is moving too fast, you can use go to this little eye here and this little speedometer here, and you can move as fast as walking. There you go. All right, so if this is my first shot, I'm gonna click this little, this is so important, guys. Remember to click this little circular reload button here. And see, your thumbnail will change to this. And then I'm going to push in like about that. And then I'm going to create another thumb like that. So now I have an animation doing that. All right. This animation lasts 10 seconds because the time is up here. So maybe I can set it to 7 seconds, which would mean this would go faster. Now, as a bonus tip, if any of you have a GeForce graphics card, right? Specifically an RTX graphics card. Anybody have a RTX NVIDIA graphics card in their computer?
Sir, I have a GTX.
Oh, so nobody has any
GTX.
RTX? GTX, everybody have GTX? Okay, all right. Well, this is what you get when you use the GTX, which is fine, looks good. If you have an RTX, you can go to the render option and you can change this to Lumen, which gives you a more realistic.
Yes, sir, I have a RTX.
Right. So you can change it to Lumen, and Lumen will give you a more realistic lighting. So to compare, this is the standard, and this is Lumen. Of course, there's also path tracing, but you're not going to be using that because it's going to take too long to give you a video. So I'm switching to Lumen now. And all of these options are found when you click on the ambience tab here. So let me highlight that because these menus can get a little confusing, right? So let me go again. These items here are items in your scene, right? Here's the tree that I just added. If I click the drop down here, these are all the objects in my scene. Above the screen graph is what is called your ambience, and that is like your lighting. So this is like your ambient lighting, what lights the entire scene. When you click on that, that's when you get all of your render options here. And what I did, I switched mine over to Lumion. Now, if you guys don't remember anything, just remember this part. Every setting you change, you need to save it per view. Because right now, I switched this to Lumen, I increase scene detail, I increase view distance. These are quality settings. If I go to a different shot and come back, all of those settings are gone. So every time I change something, I need to click this little reload icon here. And notice this only changed for this one. This shot here is the same thing. So if I play this, it's going to go from standard. Well, it's right. It's not going to switch to Lumen, but it's like this is showing me two different lighting types. I know it's Lumen because it have this little triangle thing here, right? So yeah, so just remember that. So I also have to change this to Lumen, and I'm going to put the little thing there. So now that is what I get. And this is your push in shot. So when you look back at your assignment, yeah, push in, check. Pull out, you know that already. I want to go to some of the more tricky ones, right? Now, everybody should have, oh, by the way, when you finish animating this shot, you want to click this to exit media mode, because if you change the camera here, you're actually changing your media mode. You're changing your view. So you want to go to exit. So now you're back outside. Now, everybody should have some form of animation in their project, because you're going to have to do a tracking shot. A tracking shot means that you are tracking an element that is moving. Could be a car, could be a person walking, but something that is moving. So for example, this is moving so slow, I need to change it back to riding. Yeah, that's quicker, right? So I'm gonna do a tracking shot of, let's put some cars. Yeah, let's put a, okay, right. Let's put a car coming around the corner and coming down here. So to place a moving car in Lumion, I'll make this a little bigger. To do that, you're going to go down to populate. Then you're going to go to path, because you have to place a driving path. And then you see character, bicycle, vehicle. So I'm going to choose vehicle. And all I do is click. And you're going to start see these vehicles appear on the path, I think. All right, see them there. And they're going to be driving while you're placing the path. So perfectly normal. And I'm just going to stop it there and let's press escape. All right. So now I have vehicles along this path, right? And if I click the path here, I see all of these path options, right? So let me maximize this out. So I can have 1 lane or 2 lane. I can have two-way traffic, or I can increase the density. So it's like a traffic jam, or just have 1 or 2 cars. And I can change the speed, right? And the same way you add cars is the same way you add people. All right, now a tracking shot means that I'm tracking the car as it drives, right? But remember, I don't want you to just like use a camera to follow a car. Like imagine I'm following this car here now. You also, when you're submitting the work to me, you also have to consider your rules of composition, right? So rules of third and proportion and contrast and all that. So I wouldn't just put a random camera angle doing this, because it just wouldn't be cinematic, right? So maybe I want to follow the vehicle like this. Maybe this is more cinematic because it's showing me the building, right? As a matter of fact, let's have this go the other way by choosing reverse, right? And I'm gonna do a tracking reveal. So it's going to be tracking the vehicle, and then it's going to reveal the building. So let's see if we can execute that. So the tracking shot is a little weird because these vehicles are spawned randomly. So you don't really know when when a vehicle is going to be spawned. So it's a little bit of hit or miss. All right, so let's do this now. So I'm going to click the plus. Oops, no, wait. I'm going to go back to video. So this was the first video we created. So let's rename it. So I'm going to choose rename, and I'm going to say this is push in. Then I'm going to do the plus again. And it's going to start from where I last left the view, right? So I'm going to come right here. And I'm going to start the animation here. Then I'm going to pull back. And while I'm pulling back, I want to reveal the building. I don't know if this is going to work out. Okay. So I want to pull back. Oops. I'm moving too fast. Let me slow it down a little bit. Walking. Yeah. Right. And then I'm going to reveal the building. Oh man, I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. So if I hit play, tracks the car, and then reveals the building, right? I don't know. What do you guys think of that? A bit weird?
Not really.
So it kind of tracks the vehicle.
So I think it would be better if when you're tracking the vehicle, you actually like kind of track the vehicle while revealing the building at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to have to kind of think about if you're able to do that, like it's not from a cinematography type point of view, it might be too much things for the viewer. So maybe you need to do one then the other, rather than trying to do both. So, or maybe we just don't track the vehicle any at all. How about this? Let's track somebody coming out of the subway and then it reveals the vehicle like that. That would be pretty cool. My only issue is that the people don't step upstairs. So yeah, that would be weird. But I don't know. Let's see if it will work. So we go to populate. This time we go to character and we start here. I'm going to let the character come up here and then let them walk around here, I guess. Yeah, let's let them walk there. So now we have, yeah, it goes weird up the stairs. That's my only problem. Maybe in a new version, they will have them walk upstairs properly, but they kind of. All right, so we can increase the density. So we have more people walking up the stairs. We can let the clothing be travel, so they're on vacation. We can let them be African American only, I guess. Oh, this is the only African American model that we have. Oh man. Oh no, there's a guy. Oh, good. Yeah, the stairs look a little weird, but anyway. So let's try this tracking shot here. So let's rename this shot that we did first and let's call this tracking. I'll have caps lock on. Tracking reveal 1. All right. So we're going to create a new one now. We're going to start from here. And what we're going to do is track them coming out of here and then reveal to the building. Ugh, can't get over that stairs. The stairs is just weird. Okay, tell you what, because the stairs is so weird. Yeah, we're just going to track them from here. So let's start from here. And for the next shot, oops, we're gonna have it here. And for the third shot, oops, we're going to do like that. I don't know if this is weird. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. The first shot. Okay, let me delete the first shot. All right.
The time is 9 p.m.
So now you can see we're kind of tracking.
Tomorrow, there is one event.
We're kind of
At 2
tracking the
p.m.
person.
Faculty board meeting.
Alexa, stop. Right. So you see that, guys? So we are tracking and then we are revealing the building. We kind of reveal it in the middle of the road though. So I think cars are driving past us, but you get the idea. All right. So what do you think, guys? Do you Do you understand the gist of the assignment?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, most of you probably do this kind of stuff already. The key thing here is cinematography. It has to be these views. If you don't remember what they are, just Google them, right? So you're not just doing random views of the building. It has to be a push in, pull out, reveal, rise up, right? Bonus points to people that combine the two, right? So if you do like a push in parallax or something like that, right? See if you can combine them together when you do them. All right. As usual, you're going to do them in little clips. So for example, let me rename this one properly to rename and call it push in. And I'll rename this one to say tracking reveal 2. Don't forget to save, guys. Twinmotion has no proper recovery. So if you crash, your work is gone. All right. All right. So let's say you have all of your shots done, laid out for this project. Now what you're going to do is go to the export tab here and you're going to choose video. And in this case, you're going to choose MP4. You're going to click the plus icon here to choose the videos that you want to export. So I'm going to choose all 3. Just going to go to select all. Once you do, when you choose them, you just need to hover outside of that area. You don't need to press anything. And then you're going to choose export and you're going to choose a folder. So I'm going to choose export. All right. And then you can see that it started exporting, right? Of course, Lumen is going to use your video card and CPU a lot. So if you can see here, you can see where my video card is primarily being used along with my CPU. All right. So, and this takes about a minute. So it shouldn't take very long because they're like 5 to 10 seconds. No clip should be longer than 10 seconds, right? Now, when you have all the, of course, you don't need to stabilize this footage, right? Because it's already going to be butter smooth because it's digital. All right. All right, it's almost done. All right. Now, before we go, I just want to show you some tips for visualization, I guess. Okay, so when the video is done, you will see it here. By the way, guys, it should look different. It should look a little better when you render the video versus when you preview it, right? All right, so here we are, tracking 1, tracking 2, and pushing. So this is the push-in shot that we did. That looks kind of cinematic, right? It's just slow and it looks like something out of Inception. What do you think?
Love it, sir.
This is the tracking shot. There you go. So when you add these cinematography techniques to your project, it really makes a huge difference in how the work is presented. You know what I mean? It's not so technical like a walkthrough. So, all right. So that is pretty much the process. All right, before you go, some bonus tips. Like how I'm here, like how I apparently work for Epic now, might as well give you some bonus tips that you can use in your design studio projects and so forth, right? Okay, what are the bonus tips? Of course, you have a bunch of libraries here that you can use, just like Lumion. However, the advantage of that I think Twinmotion has, remember that we spoke about the big brother, little brother thing. So where is it? It's here, right? So everything that the big brother gets, the little brother gets the hand-me-downs, right? So one of those things are Sketchfab. Anybody ever heard of Sketchfab?
Yes, sir. It's like 2D asset library.
Right. It's like an asset library for artists. So for example, if you wanted to get give me something crazy like a space car. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we can get a space car, right? And we can just click download. When you get it from here though, they're usually out of scale, so it's going to be probably really huge. Oh, actually, this is good. It's the right scale. I'm moving too slow. Let's move faster. By the way, you can use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to move faster. This is not a space car. This is a regular car. I wanted something weird like, ooh, that's nice. Okay. But basically, this is more artistic. Like you can get some imaginative stuff. Is this the DeLorean? That's cool. Oh, look at this Tron vehicle, right? Now, another great tip is that you can also get interiors. So let's say that you are doing your studio project and let's say upstairs here is a restaurant, but you don't want to design the restaurant because it's not about the design of the restaurant, but you just want when you look through the window, it looks like a restaurant. Well, you just go here and you can look for restaurant. Let's try restaurant interior. Yeah, you can get some pretty decent interiors, not just an object, but a layout. So like this one. Let's see. Oops, you need to click download. Some of them can be a little crazy, so you have to be careful. Like they can be really heavy. So let's see what this one looks like. All right, lovely. So I'm going to put this out here. And then I'm going to just delete. Oh, these are all one objects? Oh, no, they're not. Okay, good. I can just delete these. And I can just grab a whole bunch of these. Hopefully they're organized in a way that you can grab it. Usually they're not. They're just like randomly spaced out, which is a little annoying. But you get the idea, guys. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but I can just grab this and I can just put it here. Come on. Go. And now when I take my rendered image, it looks like I have stuff going on in the building, right? But I didn't spend like the whole day designing a layout just for the show behind the windows, right? So, all right. What's another tip now? Another tip is that, oh, somebody, I think it was Archibald, we were asking me about how do I get the background? And I said Twinmotion have these backgrounds as well. If you go to the ambience tab under environment, you can use HDR backgrounds, and that will actually give you a little bit nicer lighting. For those of you who are Lumion fans, you might used to this already. So you can use a sky dome, which is okay, but a backdrop is like actual photos. So whichever one of those you want to use. Right. So this is an actual background. So you can move them around. So you can Move this down. So now it looks like you are somewhere. If I zoom out, you can see it's this bubble. And of course, you can make the bubble bigger like that, or like that. So now when you do an animation, it looks like you are just, you're actually somewhere. All right. You can also tweak the lighting, so you can tweak the intensity. Oh, by the way, the intensity looks weird because it is on auto exposure. I usually turn this off and I manually control the exposure. This is where you start to go back into that lighting stuff that I taught you earlier. You need to, know a little bit about lighting so that you can control like the intensity of the backdrop, like that. There we go. Yeah. But the cool thing is that if you go to here on the environments, you can go to outdoor. By the way, you need to be on the internet for this, but of course. Oh no, did it crash? Okay, good. So you have all of these backdrops that you can use. All right. So you can get like a sunset, a nighttime, you know. So these can help to place your model somewhere. So you actually have like a little background there. All right. I think I'm going to end it. Okay, for those of you who want like really high quality trees, you can go to Quixel Mega Scans, 3D plants. These are like Hollywood quality trees and shrubs. Like they're usually very huge, so proceed with caution. But this is also another big brother, little brother thing because Epic Games also owns Unreal. So they have these mega scans assets which are very like detailed. And do they move? I don't think these move, but some of the other ones move. Right, so that is where you can get like really nice plants. My last tip is with animators. This is really good, especially if you're going to do your walkthroughs. Let me see, where can I give you a good example? Let's say you're doing an animation for your project and okay, yeah, here's the entrance to the building. And you want to have some people walk through the door. Well, what you can do is you can delete this door and you can go to objects, doors. You can go to, let's say, rotating doors, and let's choose something like this. These doors are interactive. They automatically drop into place. Notice it's highlighted there for you. Well, it's almost automatic. There you go. They just drop right into place. You can change the height of them, so you can carry it down and change the height. And they are interactive, so if I walk up to it, voila, it opens. You can flip it the other way. So once I walk up to it, it opens. And so when you're doing a walkthrough, your doors will open. And if you decide to put a person walking through the door like that, the door will open for them. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Anyway, you guys there? Good tips? You can use some of these tips?
Most definitely, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Of course, there are a million more where that came from, but I think we have done most of the really useful ones, right? I'm gonna see you again week after next week. So I want you guys to use this long weekend because remember we don't have class next week. So you're gonna finish up your assignment 3, and then this is the last assignment, which is assignment 4. And basically, you're gonna do what I just did, but for all the other camera views. All right. Remember, you're getting a point for each camera view, so don't leave out any. And if you say something is a rise up and it's not a rise up, you're not going to get the point, right? So I think that is it for class today. Whew, lot of
Sir,
talking.
if I do 2 in 1, will I get 2 points for the thing? Like if I do the follow review.
Well, it works out to be less work for you because it's 2 in 1. But yeah, there's actually a section in my marking where I look out for those of you who combine multiple views. So not maybe you don't get a point for everyone, but at least one of them you need to combine it. So it can be a rise up reveal or a tracking reveal or something. It also have to be something that makes sense. Like you cannot rise up and rise down at the same time. Or rise up and move down, obviously. Right? And it has to be individual clips, right? Remember this example that I showed earlier? Every time the camera changes, it changes to a different clip. Let me kind of. So this is one clip, and it's probably about 10 seconds. This is another clip. That's another clip. Notice these are different clips. It's not just one camera that rise up, then come down, then pull out, then parallax. It's multiple views that has a transition between them. It has a cut transition. So each of these should be like 5 to 6 second videos. All right, guys, very important for that. As I see a lot of person that just make one long camera that does everything, and that's like a big no-no. All right, guys.
Sir, I was watching a video about tracking,
Mm-hmm.
and it did say that sometimes another video said that it usually involves, for example, like following a moving object. But there's
Right.
this one video it said
Mm-hmm.
it can be whatever you want it to be. However, the guy was trying to get a video of food on the table, and he was moving sideways and videoing the food on the table. Does that count as tracking? That's his example.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. But no, that's the tracking that we're talking about is you're tracking a moving object.
Okay, sir. All right.
Right. And the reason that I want you guys to get that is like think about like you are doing an animation to show the importance of your entry to the site or your entrance to the building. So you need to see something, you need to follow something through the space. That is technically that's tracking as well. So that's why I want you guys to be able to master that. Because moving from one space to another, if you are tracking something that moving from one space to another, you can help your viewer to kind of transition to that next space, if you know what I mean. Right. So
All
that
right.
is the tracking that we want to do. All right. So I think we had a pretty full class today. Whew, a lot of talking for me, at least. All right. So I want you guys to now go ahead and finish this and assignment 2. So remember that assignment 3 is going to be due next week. All right. You know how to stabilize the footage. And this assignment is going to be like the week after. So when we come back to class, we're going to do video editing, and you're going to use that video editing to hand in assignment 4. All right. So don't hand in the assignment 4 even if you get all the views, because you have to combine it with something that we're going to do in our next class. Okay. All right. Okay, and in that class too, we're also going to introduce the final project, which is going to be pretty cool. So you have that to look forward to. All right, but no spoilers. All right. All right, guys. I think that is it for today's class.
All
So
right,
what
sir.
time is the thing tomorrow?
Time is it? It is.
Put a time
I'm going.
for the 25th.
Go ahead. What are you saying?
So I was saying I was looking at the flyers and it only has a time for the 25th, which was 4 to 8, and it had a time for the 24th to 25th, but there's no time for the 26th.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you just need to hang out down there. I know for a fact that the third years are actually going there during their design studio session. So maybe they don't have a time for everything. But just look for Miss Oti. Just look for Miss Oti. She'll be there all day. That is how you secure your participation grade. All right. All right.
So could you repeat that, sir? About grade, sir?
Right. This counts as your class activity. So when you go to the event, you need to find Miss Oti and let she register you.
Sir,
And
so
that's
what
how
if
you get.
what if you're not at the event, sir?
Then you miss this class activity. Well, you're unable to go?
Yes, sir.
Oh. That's a good point. Some of it is virtual. I mean,
So if it's virtual, then I could make it then, sir, because no, it's not. I've worked and then I have also a class tomorrow as well, sir. So that's the thing. I don't
oh,
know
I get what you're
what's the
saying.
time. I don't know the
All
time.
right, fair enough.
So maybe if it's virtual, I could maybe have it playing in the background or something like that.
I mean, okay. The aim of it is for you to experience stuff that happened. So, sure, there's going to be this debate there about what is it again? Technology reducing human creativity in the arts. So you can, I think that is going to be on YouTube. I don't know. But the one that happened today is on YouTube. The link is on the mirror board, so you can check it out. All right. So
Okay,
yeah,
sir.
for those of you who are only able to visit virtually, just let me know, and I will make a special allowance for your participation. Right? Providing
I
that
was
you
even
did
wondering,
actually go virtually.
Sir, let's
What
say
you?
that we're on campus, but Miss Oti is not there. What if I was supposed to take a selfie of myself in the sculpture park, right, with the exhibition, and then send it in or add it to the mirror board or something? Would that count? Because, sir, I can't be there all day waiting on it to get
No,
there.
definitely. Guess what? You don't even have to go that far. I mean, if for some reason Miss Oti isn't there, just tell me, and right. I won't take you to the court of law where you have to provide evidence. Just tell me, and I'll put it in. All right.
Sir,
Alright,
is in
thank you.
Ariane is in Mandeville, so I'm not.
Right. I know some of you are not physically there, so just do the virtual, whatever you can attend virtually. Try and do that. All right. But you just need to let me know at the next class so I can put a tick for that class activity. All right.
Okay, sir. Have a good day.
All right. I do believe our next class is going to involve doing video games. So that will be cool. So,
Yes, sir. That class I have a different video, sir.
okay, good. I'll see you then. All right. So that will be week after next. All right, then. Take care, guys.
Bye, sir.
Bye.